I mean, what further proof do you need to know that Elon is targeting the chicken tender? Even at the beginning of this year, 2025, Donald Trump's inauguration like the first week, Donald Trump said, "Oh, I just want to make a declaration. I just want to tell everyone, I want to let you know, there's only two genders. Okay. And whatever gender you are, you have to use that bathroom. Okay. It doesn't do anything. That didn't do anything. And honestly, I think that was Elon's idea. Elon has been going so hard against the chicken tender, and it's because he's associating that with like his grand idea for a psyop that will ultimately, in his brain, make it so that the administration and the principalities of debauchery can get away with their debauchery and whatever it is that they're trying to do. But no one is like falling for that. It's like, it's not like, there's no reason to hate the chicken tender so much for no reason. There's no reason. The chicken tender is not assaulting people in the street, not leaving single mothers like you are, Elon, not spreading STDs all over the place, not like, what are we hating the chicken tender for? Oh, they have a mental health issue. Okay. And nobody cares. We all have to pay our bills, and like, what people would care more about, Elon, is the principalities that you're seemingly serving, and all of that money that you've been using to psyop the citizens of America. That's probably what they would care about. Like I said, I think that this was Elon's idea, and Trump is running with it because his MAGA base, and for you MAGA who are staunch, who think that everything, it's a blue-haired liberal and they're they, them, and okay. What is that doing to you, though? What is their non-binary-ism doing to you? Actually, if you really think about it abstractly, non-binaryism is kind of giving you autonomy over your person. And like, to take that away is just to take more liberties away. But you're okay with it because you're so fixed on these chicken tenders ruining your little middle of America. When you don't even know of one, you're just getting bombarded with the imagery, like I said, that is a psyop to tell you that there's a takeover happening when it's not really happening. It is completely in your head, and it's in your media too. But if you have a problem, MAGA, you should probably address that, which is the media of, it's actually China that is funding that too, and the fake Star of David principality, and Elon Musk. They're funding intelligence agencies and psyopery to bombard you with this imagery so that they can have a constituent base that will insulate them to do whatever it is that they want to do. You guys need to start thinking about thinking. You need to think a little bit, please. And like I said, Elon Musk is so invested in this because he assumed that the MAGA base would be so staunch against the chicken tender because the statistics and what they know from their intelligence agencies, they know that you have a bias against them. As Middle Americans, you do. You have an implicit bias against them. Actually, it's not implicit, it's duplicitous. It's a duplicitous bias because you don't even ask yourself important questions as to who that person is or know of one in particular. You just want to hate. You just want to support your boy Trump so badly because you think he stands for your free speech and going back to a time where you were safe and more insulated from the things around you so that you can play your little Mormon, Mennonite, incestuous, pedo culture where you groom girls to be even more subjugated and dainty and weak because you think that's what a woman is supposed to be. I digress. If you cannot tell what a transsexual is from something that is transgender, which is an all-encompassing term, from someone who is a transvestite, if you can't tell who is a man playing dress up, or someone who's been taking hormones, or someone who is authentic within themselves and taking hormones, or someone who isn't authentic within themselves and taking hormones, or someone who isn't taking hormones and isn't authentic within themselves, and they also want to represent something as if they are something else. If you can't tell if it's a kink or if it's this or if it's that, then shut up. You don't have discernment on the issue. Shut up. Maybe become learned in it and stop having an opinion and thinking that you're entitled to say your opinions, let alone thinking some of them. Because what I see a lot of the time with people is that you're not introspective. You have your thoughts that are implicitly there because of programming in this matrix system, and then you spew it. You don't think too far about what it is that you do and how it is that you think. Most of you don't. And the CIA knows that. That's why they target you. That's why it's so easy for you to control. And that's why you are so staunch on Trump being some sort of savior for you. Trump is a Mason from Germany. Well, his grandfather is. Trump is a Mason. He doesn't have your best interest at heart. Trump is a con artist. And you think I'm attacking Trump? I will stand in court and say that he is a con artist. He is. And you voted for him, and you want to make any excuse that you can as to why you're doing that. But I digress. But like I said, if you can't differentiate between what is and what isn't, and who is from who isn't, then shut up about it. But you're going to do what you want to do. You're going to have the views and opinions that you want to have that coincidentally coincide with insulating your little world view, your little perceptual view of the world and how the world should be. You don't care about other people's existences and how they're living their lives and what their sovereignty should be. Because whatever a person wants to call themselves, that's their sovereignty and it's their right. It is an imposition on them as you, for you to have your opinions, spewing your opinions and telling that person that they aren't what they say that they are. You don't have to agree with them, but you can just go in another direction. You don't have to sanction Trump and agree that Trump should go into the blue-haired states and corral them up. And then you say that you're godly and Christian. You're hypocrites. You are hypocrites. And then you fail to see that. So when we're talking about a rapture, who's going to be raptured? I think if anything's going to be raptured, it's going to be taken out. And then if you ask a lot of your Christian leaders or even just Christian people in general that are in that middle America, your Mennonites, your Mormons, you all think that heaven is like a white space where all the Caucasians go and the men get to diddle little girls. You're no different than what a lot of Muslims think. You actually are in tandem. You're both should just get together and believe in the same thing, to be honest. I'm done.